Morning children, I hope you are safe at home. How are you all? This is Shilpa ma'am again with you with your fourth module. Before we enter to the fourth module, we have to discuss a lots of things. What are the things we have learned at first? Okay, I think the repetition may be getting bored. So I don't want to repeat all the topics again and again. Just we need to recall what are the things we have learned. Yes, the first one is prologue of the story. Second one, the story, The River Singers written by Tom Morehouse. And the third one is, it was a grammar session. Also, we discussed about the dialogues, review dialogues. Do you remember? Articles, phrases and sentences, review dialogues. Okay. So the fourth module, we are going to discuss about the voices, different voices. Our topic is, our first unit is based on different voices, different times. Okay, so here we are going to discuss different voices in an event. As I already discussed with you that we have different kinds of perceptions. We have different kinds of narratives. It may have the first person narrative, second person narrative, third person narrative, fourth person narrative. So here also you are going to learn the different kinds of narratives, means different kinds of voices. This is the thing what we are going to discuss here. Different voices, means voices in the museum. Okay, we are going to see three voices, three different voices. The first voice is entirely different from the second, and the second is entirely different from the third voice. Okay, the first voice is entirely different from the second, and second is entirely different from the third, and third is entirely different from the first two, and it has the characterization also. The characterization of the voices are entirely different. Okay, so let's go through the voices. You have to listen very carefully. Voice 1. It was time for our weekend educational outing. Maximilian dragged his heels as he always did on days like this. I can't think why. I believe a museum is most beneficial and improving. I always dress smartly on our outings, but my good God is a little warm, so I sat down on the bench in the dinosaur hall. You can see all the way down the hall from there, so I can keep an eye on Maximilian. That is the difficulty with weekends. So many people. Stay where I can see you. I won't. I wish that attendant hadn't sat down on my bench. I like my space, and the other one was quite empty, if perhaps a little further away. Maximilian, this notice gives excellent information about Tyrannosaurus rex. Is a bone missing just there? No, it must be my imagination. So much for education. Maximilian was nowhere near the replica Tyrannosaurus, although I soon spied him further down the hall. I should have suspected he would find a food chaos more interesting than the Jurassic era. Really? Children, do you understand anything from this voice? One? If you don't, you may please listen to me very carefully. I will tell you. An old lady, it may be grandma or mother, is taking her charge. Possibly her son or grandson is Maximilian on an educational outing to the museum. She seems fuzzy and uptight as she sits on a bench and disapproves of Maximilian going to the kiosk rather than studying the dinosaur. You get me? Who is the speaker? Who is the narrator here? Yes, the old lady. Okay, and she was in search of her son or grandson Maximilian. Do you understand the first voice? Okay, now voice 2. Some people don't know how to sit. Just sit. like the lady on the other end of the bench, fiddling about buttoning her coat tight, fanning herself like crazy, craning her neck to see all over, sitting for relaxing, watching, and thinking. I would have asked if she was okay, but I was bit. Night shift finished me, but I like to be here waiting for young checks when I come off shift. Wouldn't let her down. She loves that T-Rex, knows every bone she does, and has done since she was a nipper. Smart cookie she is. Reckoned I would just put up with Miss Fitchetti's till Jax came with me coffee. Okay, listen to me very carefully. Voice 2 is a supervisor at the museum who is just coming off shift and waiting to meet his teenage daughter Jax. Okay? Voice 3. Poor Dad, he was so tired, but we always do the dinos after his night shift. I think it cheers him up. I was getting him a coffee at the kiosk when this boy joined the queue, bouncing up and down all around me. He kept looking nervously over at this lady in a purple woolen coat sitting near Dad on the dino bench. She must have been sweltering. Didn't she look outside this morning? For a moment, I thought something was odd about the T-Rex, but the boy was getting on my nerves with all his bobbing about, so I was distracted and forgot what I had seen. You up for a cold drink then? I said. He cast another quick glance at the purple coat, then grinned and nodded. That broke the ice and we got chatting. He was a laugh, with lots of jokes and silly voices, just the way I imagine a younger brother would be if I had one. We had just got to the front of the queue when I spotted the purple coat bustling our way. Do you understand whose voice is this? Yes? Jack's voice. Charlie. Jax is the daughter of the supervisor of the museum. Okay. And she is a teenage girl who meets Maximilian in the chaos queue where he is anxiously looking towards wise one. Who is the wise one? Yes, it is the old lady. Because he knows that she won't approve of him going to the kiosk instead of studying the dinosaur. Children, now we are going to discuss about the standard English and our colloquial English or colloquial language. Okay. Standard English is the correct formal style used in books, newspapers, official documents, and business. But in the colloquial speech or the language, we are using lots of idiomatic expressions and contractions as part of everyday colloquial speech. Am I right? Look at these sentences. I would have asked if she was okay, but I was bit. The second one is reckoned. I had just put up with Miss Fidgety till Jax came with me coffee. Have you seen the contractions? Yes, normally in the colloquial speech we are using the contractions and idiomatic expressions. Next we are going to discuss the very interesting area, that's the flashback. Flashback means our past experience, past events in our life which cannot be even forgotten in our life. Alright? Do you have such experiences in your life? Do you have such moments in your life? Remember your childhood? Do you have any sweet memories in your life? Yes, these kind of events, past events can be termed as the flashback. Let us know it is the techniques of the storytelling. So first of all, let us go. What do you mean by a flashback? Flashback is a storytelling technique where the author interrupts the main story to go back to events that happened earlier. Flashbacks can be the narrator's memories or separate events, but they always tell the reader something important connected with the main story. This is the time to wind up the fourth module. That's the last module of your first unit. And we'll see you soon later with our second unit, People in the News. Till then,